Hey, it's Ryan Dieter here with Key Realty. Welcome back to another monthly market update for the Columbus, Ohio real estate market. I wanted to make sure we got this out as soon as possible. I'm actually traveling. I'm on the road for Thanksgiving, and I'm not in my normal office, so bear with me as the quality is not quite as good as normal either. But I appreciate you still tuning in. I'm sure you're not here to see my pretty face, but hopefully you get the information is worth watching still. So, and it's also, Michigan week, so I'm wearing my Buckeyes hat today. So go Bucks! Hopefully this time next week we're preparing for the Big Ten championship. So with that said, let's dive on in. All right, here is the Columbus Board of Realtors numbers they put out for us every month. We see here in October 23. As we dive into this, we're going to continue to see the same numbers as closed sales. I mean, I keep harping on this all year. I like to point it out just because it's at the top, and this is kind of the narrative of the market right now is that we're actually down. And this 7.7% actually shows it's actually about half of what we've been down all year. As you can see, year to date, we're down 14. So this shows that we had a little uptick this time of year compared to what we've been seeing. Now it's still down year to year, but it's a little bit more modest slope versus the 14%, closer to 15. So, is that a sign that we're starting to see people, this market's becoming normalized and people are starting to say, well, I can't wait any longer. We're starting to see people make more changes. Maybe we'll see if that continues to be the trend that we're seeing more people start to decide to move and make a change. So, could be a good thing, could help with inventory, could help open up some opportunities for people looking to buy a house as well. And again, still seeing modest growth. We're still seeing, I like to look at the average price, median price, and average price per square foot kind of as a whole. We're seeing it's around that, I would say 6.5 on average, which is very modest. 5% is the average across the board, historically, even including 2008 and the recession. And then it actually may be higher now. I haven't looked at it in the last few years with the COVID bump. So it may even be higher. So that 6% may be right around the national average. And it's very, very good, healthy growth, in my opinion, versus the 15% we saw the last few years, which is just a little bit of very, very quick appreciation that's going to, kind of leave a lot of people in the dust potentially that don't have homes. It's really helpful for people that do, but people that don't, it could leave them kind of behind and having to try to play catch up, which is very difficult to do with these economic factors right now. So 6% is pretty, in my opinion, healthy when we come to what appreciation should look like. This is year over year. And what we are seeing, we are in that cycle of month over month coming down a little bit in prices. We see this every fall. I kind of harp on this a lot of my videos on the monthly cycles or the yearly cycles within the Columbus market. And we'll scroll down here to kind of jump ahead into this graph. I just love this graph that shows pricing year over year, and the months that kind of we see monthly price decreases this time of year. This is 2013, beginning of January here. We spike in really May and flatline in the summer, June, start to come down all fall, and it really bottom out in the winter. Bottom out around February, late January, early February, and we start to see all of a sudden the spring market start to tick in when people have goals of buying a house in the new year, and all of a sudden they get that fever and they start really focusing on getting somewhere in the spring, before summer's over, and before you know it, we have this rush in the spring to get into spaces. So with that said, that's kind of what we're seeing. We're in the midst of that. We're actually not seeing that drastic of numbers month over month. The average price was $347 this month, and last month it was just $348. So really just $1,000 less. So really kind of flatlining. Average median price is down by 5,000, I think. Yeah, about 5,000. Average price per square foot's down by a couple dollars as well. So we are seeing that slow slope in the fall. Nothing drastic. What I would tell you, like, the prices that you're seeing is kind of the prices that are going to be roughly you get. We are seeing percent of list price received at 100%. So yeah, right at, list price is about what things people are paying for. Percent of original list price received. That shows like this is when it hits the market and there's no price drops. What price drops happen, then all of a sudden it's 100%. But when it hits the market and there's not factoring in price drops, it's about 98.5. So close to 100. Nothing drastic. We are seeing a little bit more price drops than we have in the last year. If we look at last year, October 2020, we saw, I guess we saw about the same thing last year. Actually, it's actually a little bit up this year. If I say, look at it, not by much. It's really negligible when it comes to like looking at what's going on in the market, what trends are happening. Hard to say it's any different. Days on market compared to last year, what, one more day. So, again, I guess it's right here too. Again, we're seeing one more day on market, so it's up almost 5%. But when it's only 20 days, that one day makes a big difference when it comes to percentage. But again, hard to tell you. It's very similar to last year's market where we see, things just kind of slow down this time of year. Prices, somewhat come down, but nothing drastic. And we see, honestly, what we see is a lot of houses that just aren't as nice hit the market. And for them, this is, as a whole, obviously we still see some nice houses, and houses that are nice and, have everything that people want and are fixed up sell really quick still. We just see a little bit more of the drastic people that just, need to sell for whatever reason and just put their house in the market this time of year without waiting until spring market when they can get the most money out of it. So we're still seeing that. Pretty typical. Inventory is about the same. So we're seeing that month supply come up though, which is a good thing for buyers. Essentially, we're seeing houses that, what this is showing me, that month supply is up 14%, but yet we're not seeing a whole lot of new listings. Where's the new listings here? New listings. We actually saw less new listings. This is just, with inventory up, meaning, and people are still getting 100% close to list price, means that there's houses that just aren't selling. They're sitting on the market and they're not selling at all as well. So that's what this number really shows me. We're seeing an uptick in houses that are, most likely just way overpriced, and no one's willing to make an offer on it because it's way overpriced. Whether it's people don't want to pay that much for the condition. There's always a price people are willing to pay for a house. If you get low enough, even if it needs tore down, someone will buy it. So at the end of the day, it's all about price. And so there's obviously got to be some houses that just aren't selling, and that's ticking the inventory up. But not drastically, not enough to where it's it's going to be a buyer's market anytime soon. So those are the numbers, kind of what I'm looking at, kind of how I interpret it, my quick view of it. I do think, we're heading into the winter here. I do think there's going to continue to be opportunity. I like this time of year if you're looking to buy a house, if you can find the right house. What I tell a lot of my buyers in this market, and a lot of my sellers too. So my buyers, I tell them like, hey, like, be prepared. And if the right house hits the market, don't be afraid to jump on it, because you may be able to find, that it's not as competitive. There's not as many offers on it, and you don't have to, go way above asking price and give up, all your contingencies. As for sellers, I tell you, like, the competition's down. So if you have a nice house, or even a house you need to sell for a reasonable price, if you price it right, you can still get everything you want and then some. So it just it takes a lot of strategy to understand the market in this time of year, understand how to position your house. This time of year is important, not just to throw it up like you would in June or May, but understanding the dynamics of this market is very important to get the most out of your house and to get a house if you're looking to buy a house. So happy to talk to you more about that. One thing I do want to kind of always update on is the mortgage rates, what they're doing. We did see a dip last month, which is a good thing. We saw, prices or interest rates did come down, really the lowest it's been for most of the year. This is a graph. I'm going to try to zoom in here, that we see throughout what happened in the interest rates here. And unfortunately, I don't have 23 marked here, but as you can see, prices, interest rates, we all know, are bottomed out in 2022. They spiked up and really peaked. I honestly think they peaked last month, and that's hopefully that's the case. They peaked about 8%, and they've come down to low sevens now, to low to mid sevens, and hopefully we're going to start seeing kind of some flatlining and then slow. I don't anticipate a drastic drop in rates anytime soon. I think over the next year, even into 2 to 3 years, we're going to start seeing a slow drop back into that 5%, maybe 4%, depending on a lot of dynamics. But I wouldn't expect to get down to threes anytime soon. And so with that said, if you're looking to make a purchase, what I want to encourage you to say, like, right now may just be the best time to buy a house, because for a lot of reasons. The first one is, interest rates have ticked down a little bit. And so you're not going to, not drastically, but a little bit, which helps. And lastly, like, there is just such, few. Let me go back to this month. There's just such little inventory this month. We've seen 15% overall decrease in inventory, or an increase in homes sold, and the inventory is so low that, once those rates do come back, a lot of people have basically said, hey, I'm gonna sit on the sidelines until the rates come down, or I'm gonna sit on the sidelines until prices come down. And if interest rates do come down, all of a sudden we're seeing a lot of buyers into the market, which is going to cause prices to go up. It's simple supply and demand. If interest rates go down and or supply comes up, we're going to start seeing people enter the market. And so once that becomes attainable to people, we're going to start seeing more buyers in the market. It's going to cause prices to go up. And so if you're looking to make a purchase and you're like, I'm waiting, I want to wait, maybe 6 months to a couple of years. What I would tell you and encourage you, like, if you have the ability, I know that's the question right now. Do you have the ability and means, and does the monthly payment fit your budget? If you have the ability, though, I would seriously consider right now being one of the best times to buy a house, because if you buy a house today and interest rates drop, you can always refinance that interest rate. But if you wait and interest rates drop, competition is going to rise, and all of a sudden now you may not even get the house. There's going to be a lot more offers on the house you want, and so therefore you're going to have to overbid. You're going to have to give up some contingencies. You may not have the ability to do an inspection, and if you're not comfortable with all that stuff, you may not get the house. And so that's the reality, is that, if interest rates come down, there's a lot of people on the sidelines right now that a lot of my clients, a lot of people I talk to are just saying, I'm waiting for interest rates just to come down. And so that's the narrative I'm hearing right now, and hopefully this is helpful to you. Hopefully this can help you make a decision. And if you have any questions, I'm always happy to talk to you directly. Feel free to reach out, call, text, email me. I'd love to have a conversation about your individual needs. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving if you're watching this before then. And I guess if not, happy holidays.